How can we create a notification for our case owners when a customer replies to one of their emails on the case? That is the use case we're going to focus on in this demo today, and I'm going to talk you through how we can set that up from just installing Act on it to the end-to-end setup for that use case. And this all starts with the creation of a message automation where we can do an event notification. So I won't want to go into too much detail here, but event notification is a bit like a record triggered flow. It's a quick way of triggering notifications of the changes to your Salesforce data, but it's a lot quicker and easier than configuring flows. But if you expand this pick list here, where you choose which type of record you want to trigger the notification of, you'll notice that there's no email message object. This is the object that's really relevant for this use case, because an email message represents an individual email that's been received or sent to a customer. So how can we set this up? Well, fortunately it's relatively straightforward, and the process that I'm going to show you now is something that you need to do for any kind of object that isn't natively supported. So all of your custom objects and any other standard objects that perhaps we've not enabled because we don't want to create that dependency in our app. So if you go to the Application Settings tab within the Act on It application, and you click on Object Settings, you'll see all of the natively supported objects in your org. And if you click New, it's as easy as adding a record really. You can enable this object. So I'll type in email message, is the name of the object, and it's the API name of the object that you want to paste into this input here. So for email message, I know it's email message without any underscores. I'm also going to activate triggers, and I'm going to enable this to make this available as well. So if I then go back in to create a new automation using Act on It's lightweight automation builder, and if I click the event notification option, we can now see that email message object is there. And that's how easy it is to add objects for 99% of your use cases. However, that's not entirely true for this type of automation. So all of these other automation types will now be natively supported, but a bit of additional setup is required for the event notification. And that is a one-time piece of configuration for that object, which needs a record triggered flow basically. So if I go to create a new flow, I'll show you how we can do that. So you can't see this one, I couldn't drag that out of the way. Okay. So I'm going to click new flow, and I'm going to start from scratch. And I'm going to choose record triggered flow. This is the type of flow that is triggered off of a change to your Salesforce data. And then I'm going to choose the object that I want to enable, which for us is going to be email message. I'm going to select when a record is created or updated, because I want this to fire on both of those events, when an email message comes in and when it's changed. And I'm going to leave everything else as default, including the actions and related records option down here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to immediately just add a packaged action. That's all we have to do, is one action for this whole flow, which is called process trigger records. And it looks something like this here. So that's the API name for it, just there. I'll just say process trigger records as well for the name. So to provide a bit more context for you, what this is doing, this is our way of plugging in and instructing Act on It on what this is our way of announcing the change that has taken place. And we're first asked what are the data types that we need. So I'm going to choose email message twice. It might seem a bit odd, but hopefully it'll make sense in just a moment. If I do that, email message, and once I've done that, we'll see additional options appear here. So the new record input is an email message, and we're going to pass in the newest state of the record. So if the record's been changed, you want to pass in trigger.new. So I'll type in the word trigger, I see triggering email message, I'll click that, and I'll remove that little dot just after record, so we're passing in the entire new record into the action there. And similarly for this old record input, it's also an email message, it's just the record before it was changed. So if this is an update event, we're passing both the new state of the record and the old state as well. So I'll choose that. Again, get rid of the little dot, so we're passing in the whole record, and that's that done. Now, if I go, I have to announce whether this is a creation event or an update event. So the easiest way to do that is to create a formula. So I click New Resource, Formula, and I'll call it is new formula. And then I can search for a function called is new. Click that, and it's going to return a boolean. So I'll put boolean as the data type, check the syntax, that should be fine. Done. What that's doing is that's saying if this is a new email message being created, it's going to pass true into that is created input, and if it's an update event, it's going to pass false. And that's again just instructing the application, the package application, on what's happening, because it can't natively do that out of the box, because you'll have lots of local customizations that are unique to your business. Similarly, is it updated? So this is actually the reverse. So again, we're going to create another formula, but I'm going to say is not new. I'm going to choose a data type of boolean again, and this time there's a function called not, which reverses whatever's inside it, and inside it I'm going to put the is new again. So this is just basically reversing it. So if it's not being created, then it's being updated. And so that's me passing that into the action. And I'm going to save that. I'm going to say enable packet on it for email messages. Save that and activate. That's now done. That is a one-time setup. You never have to do that again. And now you can go and build as many notifications as you want to using Actonit's automation builder. So we'll do that now quickly. So I'm going to click new to create a new automation type, and I'm going to click event notification, because the event that we're tapping into now is the creation of an email message. It's a reply from that reply from the customer. So I'll say notify case owner when customer replies. And I'm going to choose our email message type is the record we're interested in tracking today, and we'll go to the next step. So now who would we like to notify? By default it's going to assume it's yourself, but you don't want to get a notification of every single email that comes in. We want this to be dynamic, so I'm going to click add or remove, and I'm going to go to related users, so notifying someone linked to the email message. And from here we're going to choose, and we're going to travel up to the case, and we're going to choose the owner. This is how we can target the case owner. So we go from the email message, we're going to travel up to the case, and we're then going to choose the owner field. That's who we want to notify. And if it's in a queue, you can choose whether you want to notify all queue members or not by ticking this setting here. When you're happy, click confirm, and we're good to go. I'm going to leave my name in there for now. In the next step, when would you like to notify your chosen recipients? It's already defaulted to created, which is perfect, but you could do created, updated, or both. Created is fine for our use case, but we don't want to be notified of every email, because some of these are outbound emails and some of them aren't related to cases as well. So we need to be a bit more specific and selective with the time that we want to notify our users. So I'll click Manage Conditions to open up the console. This is a bit like applying filters in a report. So if you were going to go and search for these emails and report on these emails, what's the criteria you'd apply? Well, the criteria we'd apply is where there's an is incoming checkbox. That's really important, because we don't want to be notified of anything outgoing. It's all when the customer replies to us. So where is incoming is true, that's done. And we also want to make sure that there is a case related to it. We don't want the email message isn't exclusive to case, to email to case. It's also for other kind of emails sent from leads and other places as well. So where case is not blank as well. So we're isolating our case emails. And that's actually it. That's all that we need to do there. And then we go to the next step. So now we get to design our message. So this is the fun bit, right? So you can say, right, update the core message saying a customer has replied to your email, or a customer's messaged you, or whatever you want to do there. I'll skip various settings, but please do check out our documentation. There's plenty more detail on what these are. But I am going to quickly update the icon just so it's more relevant and more recognizable for our users. So we'll just use this one for now. Settings, do you want them to be able to snooze? Yeah. Preview record, why not? Let's have the actual email be visible in the hover menu as well. So I'll paste in the HTML body. But you can add whatever you want. You can add the from address, so who was that sent it. All these other fields, you can kind of build those into it as well. And where that will appear is here. So when they hover over, they'll see those details there. You can let the users choose how they're notified. You can let them click through to the email message as well. You can let them opt out of notifications of this type, but we won't do that for this case. Now, I haven't got any actions for the email message object. Obviously, I've just created it, I've just enabled it, but I could build any kind of notification action as well off the back of the email message. So I'm not really sure what you might want to do there. Maybe you want to forward some of the details, maybe you want to trigger a custom workflow, maybe you want to forward the notification, whatever you want to do, you can build them and make them available for selection here. But I'm going to just move to the next step, which is just to choose how we're going to be notified by default. Because this is just a demo and just an example, I'm going to have it pop up and do a nice celebration, confetti, maybe make a sound prompt as well so I'm made aware of it. But you could do like a subtle highlight or anything that you want to do there. And we will go to the final step, which is just to validate and verify everything we've just configured. So is this correct? Act on it will send this notification to the case owner when an email message is created, provided that the going message is an incoming email and the case is in blank. That looks good to me, so I'm going to save that. Right, so now we're going to give it a quick test. So what I'm going to do is I've got a case that I prepared earlier, and I'm going to quickly reply to the customer. Please respond to this. Okay, and we'll send that. Let's wait a moment for that to come through. There it is, I've got it already. Notice how we haven't got a notification yet, just first of all. That's because of our filter criteria. So an email message was created, but because it was outgoing, we haven't been notified. So if I now reply to this, and I say, did you receive this email? So I'm doing this off screen, sorry, but I have just clicked send there. So in just a moment, if all goes well, we should see our notification appear. Boom, right on cue. Lovely, so we've just got that through. That was brand new end-to-end from installing the application. If I hover over, we can see the detail. Did you receive this email? We can see all that email body there. I can then click through to the email message. I can reply or do anything that I need to there. I can create custom actions to link through directly to the case. I can snooze this message for later. I can do various other bits and pieces as well. But that's how you create a email to case customer reply notification using Act on it. Hopefully that's been helpful. If you need any help from us, please reach out to us at help@overlayapps.com and we'll help you with any other future use case that you might have. Thank you very much for watching.